Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'll be taking a look at the RovyVon S3 EDC flashlight. Let's check it out. So here's the S3 still in the box. You can see right there it says 1800 lumens. This particular flashlight isn't 1800 lumens, but I'll get into that just a little bit later on. And on the back of the box, we have our typical lumens and runtime info. We take everything out of the box here and looks like we have some information here, features and whatnot. And it does come with a charging cable here, type A to type C. And in this bag, it looks like we have our typical lanyard. But I'm gonna put all this off to the side here, and I'll give you guys a nice close-up of the S3 here from RovyVon. And while you guys are checking this out, let's talk about some of the features. The S3 comes in two different models. One model has three CRI XPG3 cool white LEDs that has a maximum lumen output of 1800 lumens. But the model that I have right here has three Nichia 219C neutral white LEDs with a maximum output of 1200 lumens. So the first model is slightly brighter with those 1800 lumens but has a cool white beam. And the flashlight that I have here has a lower lumen output. It's just higher CRI. It's available in two different colors, black and red. The S3 also has two different alloy choices, titanium and the version that I have right here, aluminum. The S3 has four different modes, plus SOS and strobe, and everything is controlled with a metal side switch. On the tail cap, it has a lanyard attachment, a USB Type-C charging port, a tritium slot, and a ceramic glass breaker. And on this detachable deep carry pocket clip, it has a 1/4-inch hole so you can mount it to a tripod. And is powered by a single 650 milliamp hour, 3.6 volt 16340 battery. Or you can just use any typical CR123 batteries. But if you charge it with the included rechargeable battery, the USB-C quick charge port charges the battery in about 90 minutes. And the S3 is IPX7 waterproof. The X means the dust proofing wasn't tested, but the 7 means it's submersible in up to 3 feet of water for up to 30 minutes. Alright, so what about the dimensions here? Its length is 2.74 inches and has a diameter of 0.97 inches. Alright, so now let's discuss the S3 from RovyVon here. As I mentioned in the features, I went with the 1200 lumen version that gives you a higher CRI versus the cool white version with the higher lumen output at 1800 lumens. Now, in my opinion, 1200 lumens is just fine for an EDC flashlight. That's why I didn't mind just going with the 1200 lumen version. Plus, I like the higher CRI versus the cool white beam. And I'm not really sure if it'll show up very well on camera, but maybe you can see the color temperature there. It's pretty nice. To me, the beam looks to be right around 3200 Kelvin, which to me is absolutely perfect. And even in the lower modes, such as low and medium, as you can see right here, I don't see a hint of green in there. And I'll give you guys a look right down the barrel at those three Nichia 219C LEDs right there. So let's talk about the body design here. So it looks like to me only two pieces of aluminum. Just the main part of the body here and the tail cap. So only being two pieces of aluminum, this feels really, really sturdy. It feels like a rock. But the diameter here is almost exactly 1 inch. So it's a little bit chunkier of an EDC flashlight that I'm used to. While I was carrying this, it was carrying just a little bit chunky in my front pocket. And yes, this being an EDC flashlight, it has a single metal side switch right there. It does not have a tail switch, but you can see on the tail switch, there's a lot going on here. It does have an LED indicator right here next to this USB Type-C port right there. And if I plug it in, you can see it does glow red while charging, and when fully charged, it glows blue. And as far as I can tell, this LED doesn't necessarily indicate battery life, which is fine because this USB Type-C port is a quick charger and it only takes about an hour and a half to fully charge this bad boy anyways. But if you're not around your USB Type-C charger, don't worry because as I mentioned in the feature section, yes, it does take any common CR123 batteries. You can see I just plopped in an Energizer, and right here, you can see, yeah, works just fine. So that's really nice. They didn't make it a proprietary system where you had to use only RovyVon batteries. You can use any common CR123s you happen to have laying around. And yes, there is a lot going on with this tail cap here. Right here, there's a lanyard attachment. And if I turn it to the side, you can see right there, that's a ceramic glass breaker. And then right next to that USB Type-C port, there is a spot to put a tritium glow-in-the-dark vial if you want to. Now, I can never find those tritium vials, but it looks like on the website, you can add them to the order. It looks like you can get a blue or a green one. But if you click on blue or green, It adds about $30 to the price of this flashlight. But yes, I do realize that those tritium vials are hard to get a hold of. That's why they're so expensive. And now let's take a look at this deep carry removable pocket clip right here. Has some nice tension on it. I like a pocket clip with a decent amount of tension. Not too much, not too little. This seems absolutely perfect. But on the pocket clip, there's also a 1/4-inch hole right here, and they say it's to mount to a tripod, which on most prosumer tripods on the mounting plate, they do have a 1/4-inch 20 mounting screw. And if you want to, you can put this on your tripod, I guess. All right, so let's check out the modes here. It has 4 different modes, plus strobe and SOS for a total of 6 modes. Now you can see there's 2 different categories here, one for the CRI LEDs and one for the Nichia LEDs. So for this specific S3, my low is only 4 lumens and has a runtime of 22 hours. My medium is 60 lumens, has a runtime of 4.5 hours. And now let's get to high. 400 lumens, that's 100 lumens less than the CRI version, and then has a runtime of 3 minutes, but then steps down and then runs for another 130 minutes. Then you can see my turbo is 1200 lumens, 600 less than the CRI version, has a runtime for 3 minutes and then steps down and can run for another 50 minutes. Then it says maximum intensity of 4000 candela and beam distance of 126 meters. So I'm not really sure what that indicates. It says max, so I'm guessing the 4000 candela and 126 meter throw is for the 1800 lumen version. So if that's the case, I have no idea the intensity or beam distance of the version that I have right here. And then to round it out, it has an impact resistance of 1.5 meters and it's waterproof IPX7. All right, so now let's check out the UI, and I think it has a pretty interesting user interface. So a single quick press on that side switch takes us right to instant low, and then a single quick press again turns it right off. Now from off, if we do a long press on that side switch, there's our 1200 lumen turbo. And since this is a burst, all we have to do is just let go of the side switch and turns it right off. So I just like the fact that the UI gives us instant low and instant turbo. So now let's get into the standard modes here. What you have to do is double quick press on that side switch and there's our low. And to cycle through the modes, just do a quick press, as you can see here. So there's low, medium, high, and there's our constant turbo. And to turn it off, you just have to hold down that side switch for about 0.3 seconds. Now to get to your special modes, strobe and SOS, triple quick press that side switch, there's strobe, single click again to get to SOS, and then hold down 0.3 seconds to turn it off. Now it does feature a memory, so let's turn it back on. And there's low, there's medium. So to register that mode in medium, we have to first turn it off, double press to turn it back on. So now medium is now registered into the memory. So if I click and get to turbo, if I double quick press that side switch, it takes us right back to medium. Because medium was the last mode, when I turned the light off, it registered into the memory. So anytime you want to get to your registered memory, you just have to double quick press that side switch to get right back to it. Now let's do a table test right here, and I'll show you guys what the beam looks like on the tabletop here, and that's medium. So you can see it has a pretty nice even beam composition here. Just by taking a look at that focused beam right there, the hotspot, you can tell instantly that this is a floodlight and definitely not a thrower. But you'll see that for yourself once I take this outside and do a beam test for you guys. All right, so now it's time for the turbo runtime and heat test. I'm gonna let this run for about 3 minutes on turbo, and I'll take the temperature at the head and right at the body after 1 minute, 2 minutes, and 3 minutes, just to see how hot this gets, and at the same time see if there's any step down from turbo within those 3 minutes. So let's see if I can do this at the same time. All right, pretty good. Let's go. All right, so let me turn this off here, and I got all the times right here, and of course I'll put all these times on the screen right now. So after 1 minute at the head, it was 90.5 degrees Fahrenheit. At the body, it was 97.8 degrees Fahrenheit. Then after 2 minutes, it was 96.0 degrees Fahrenheit. At the body was 105.0. And after 3 minutes, the head was 97.5 degrees Fahrenheit. And at the body was 109.4 degrees. So I'm holding it right now after only a few seconds. I mean, yeah, it's definitely warm. I can still hold it with my hands, my bare hands without any gloves. But what's interesting to me is the body was much hotter than the head here, and usually it's just the opposite of that. 109.4 versus 97.5 after 3 minutes. And yes, I realize it's a pretty small flashlight, 2.74 inches in length, so the heat has to go somewhere. It's just interesting that usually those numbers are reversed. Also, I didn't really see the step down because I wasn't really looking for it here, but in the edit, I'll scrub through the footage and I'll let you guys know when the step down started versus when it ended right now. All right, guys, time to take this bad boy outside and check out some of those beam shots. All right, so I'm right around 20 feet from those shrubs right in front of me. So, all right, that's low. It's medium. There's high. All right, it's 500 lumens. Sorry, 400 lumens. Or is it 5? I don't remember. I'll put it on the screen. Jeez, my memory's terrible. And then there is our 1200 lumen turbo. And you can see that, yes, this is definitely a floodlight. That's right around, I would say, about 50 feet from me to those trees back there. And you can see, take it away, bring it back. Yeah, lighting them up with no problem, but you can barely see a focused beam at all. There's no hot spot hardly at all. If I aim it at the ground, you can see that. It's a pretty nice beam composition though. Very nice, very nicely even and spread out. So let's click it again. Let's go back to our low. Medium, high, okay, and then turbo. All right, let's move on to the next spot. All right, a little darker here. So here's my low. It's 4 lumens, you're not going to see anything out here. And then medium. Okay. There's high. That's much better. And let's get to our turbo. Yeah. There's plenty of light in this little guy. Plenty of light. And I'll tell you what, guys, I much prefer this high CRI than the cool white. I don't mind. I'm not missing those 600 lumens at all. I mean, this is just perfect for a small little sub 3-inch EDC flashlight. As you can see, there's plenty of light. And that beam is pretty darn nice. Nice and wide. Very even, as you can see. There you go. All right, so now I'm curious to see if it's going to hit these trees back here. Let's go right to turbo. Okay. Check that out. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but I mean, what do you expect for this little guy, right? I mean, look at that. It's actually hitting those trees. I think, what is it, 204 or 206 feet away? Very nice. And then, yep, there's the soccer net. Absolutely. All right, pretty impressive, man. I like it. All right, so as you can see from those beam shots, there's plenty of light that comes out of this little body. I'm definitely not regretting getting the 1200 lumen high CRI version versus the cool white 1800 lumens. This thing has plenty of light. It's a floodlight for sure. It's definitely not a thrower, but that's to be expected. It's not trying to be a thrower, and being a floodlight, this does a very good job at it. The spill was really wide, but the beam itself, the beam composition, it was very even, very nicely spread out. And I just love the neutral white beam that comes out of this guy. And this being my very first time checking out the S3 series, I'm impressed. I like that you have options to pick between titanium and the aluminum model. If you don't care so much about neutral white high CRI and want more lumens, you have the options of that too. I like the fact that it's rechargeable, fast USB-C charging here, but if you need to, you can just plop in a common CR123 in there. Works fine. And even though I don't see myself using this anytime soon, you never know, but I like the fact that it does have a ceramic glass breaker right there and a spot for a tritium vial if I want to go that route. Deep carry pocket clip, lens up. this little flashlight will see some pocket time here. So would I recommend the S3 from RovyVon? Yes, absolutely, especially if you're somebody that likes a small EDC flashlight, but wants options to choose from. The only thing I really wish is that it came in more color options. I want to see more color options other than just black or red. But other than that, I definitely recommend the S3 for what it is. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. What do you think of the RovyVon S3? Now if you want to check this out for yourself, I will have links below in my description box. But if you did enjoy this video, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe. And go!